The good news is all of you have feel, but you need to focus on it and be aware of it. What I mean is things like this, like I'm hanging out here with Maverick. We're close, maybe we're even touching, but right there as he touched, you see his foot, yields slightly backwards. He moves slightly because what he doesn't want to do is lean on me, and that's something that is just a rule with us. We can be close, but we can't lean on each other. But that's feel. And you might say, well, I want my horse to be close. And I agree, I like having my horse close, but there's a feel in there. For instance, imagine there's somebody sitting here that you do not know. They just walked up here, they sat down. You're probably automatically going to have, say it's a bench, say instead of 2 chairs, it's a bench. You're automatically just going to have a certain amount of space because it's a stranger. Now, let's say it's your best friend, they might come up and hang out closer. But probably, unless they're actually giving you a hug or something, you're not going to be pushing on each other because that wouldn't be comfortable. So that's just an awareness of feel. Another one that I use is, say you're pushing a shopping cart down the grocery store, and as you're going, you're very aware of where the other carts are and if another person's looking or not looking. There's maybe times that you'll look down an aisle and there's 5 people already with shopping carts in the aisle, and you just go down the next aisle and go around because you know it's going to be easier just to go around that pressure than to try to navigate that and push and shove and certain things like that. And what I want you to try to do, because this is what people do sometimes, is they actually change their standard from, say, when they're in the grocery store or hanging out with just people in public. They change those standards when they get to the barn. All of a sudden, this animal here is allowed to lean, they're allowed to push, they're allowed to be resistant and things like that. Yet in their normal life, that is something that wouldn't occur. So what I'm asking you to do is not actually, because sometimes people misinterpret these things. They think maybe we're being a little hard on the horse or rash, or just, our expectations are too high. What I'm actually trying to do, if you watch a lot of this, is hold the same standard that you held over here, the feel. And what I want you to focus on as far as feel is a lightness or a balance with this horse. So for instance, we're going to go to the backup here, and when I go to push on this horse's halter, I'm going to expect him to do certain things. So for instance, I might just pull down and notice he gives to that. I might pull down and he gives to that. That's a certain feel, but I wouldn't ever pull on him and not get something. And I want you to think about, maybe today you've already caught your horse and led them and tied them and things, and I want you to think about how many times have you touched here and maybe it didn't mean anything to your horse. You just pulled on him and say I pulled right there and he didn't have to move, and then I pulled right there and he didn't have to move, and I pulled right there and he didn't have to move. Then all of a sudden I get an idea, I want to back my horse up and get him soft in my hand. Well, how's he going to know the difference between just hanging out and pulling on him and he's not having to listen to me, versus now all of a sudden I want you to listen to me? Well, what if he says, well, how do I know the difference? Is this now the time I give, or is this now the time I don't give? So all of a sudden it's confusing.